Hey guys, Tech Timmy here. If you're like me, your iPhone holds pretty much everything in your life. Messages, banking info, passwords, photos.
It might contain pictures of your credit cards, your driver's license, your kid.
Or it could potentially reveal a weird obsession that you have with R2-D2, for instance. If you don't reset it properly before you sell or trade it in, some of that can stay behind or potentially lock the next owner out completely. In this video, I'm going to show you how to factory reset your phone to sell, trade in, or give it away. We're going to do it step by step, and stick around to the end. I'm going to include some troubleshooting procedures in case things go wrong. We'll get you back on track and get your phone fully reset. Let's go.
Oh boy, it's Tech Timmy time.
Alright, so the quick backstory here is that my son Christopher smashed his phone, and I decided that I'm going to do a factory reset of my old iPhone 10, or X as they like to say in the Apple world, to repurpose this phone for him. But I wanted to start with a clean slate. There are a ton of videos online that will show you how to factory reset your iPhone, but none that really go through every step in the process meticulously. I'm gonna do it all in this video. We're gonna back up the data. We'll sign out of your Apple ID or your Apple account. We are going to remove the SIM or eSIM if you have one, and then we're gonna erase all of the content on the phone completely. I'll also provide some troubleshooting steps, which I did not see anybody do because things can go wrong during the process. So I have a few things that could potentially go horribly wrong that I want to address at the end of the video as well. Step number one is we want to back up our data, right? So super important. And I pulled out this little USB dongle, has been instrumental in transferring files for me. But what I do is anything that is super important to me, I insert this into the phone. And then basically what this allows me to do is drag, drop files from the phone, anything super critical, onto the hard disk, and then I have it there forever, not in the cloud. No, it's here locally. So I like that option for anything that's super critical. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. You have stuff that you absolutely cannot lose. What I like best about iPhone is the fact that I can back everything up super easy to the cloud using iCloud. So we see what I just did there. So pulled up settings, and now I'm gonna go into my Apple ID. And then from here, I'm gonna click on the iCloud option. And then from here, I can go to where it says iCloud Backup, right? And then what you want to do, so I just backed this up this morning, so my phone is actually good, but take a backup before you wipe your phone. And then basically, so you click the Backup Now button, and then after that completes, you want to come back and verify the timestamp here to make sure that the full backup was successful. Guys, I in all caps, I actually put this in my notes. This full process, not this step, but the full process is going to erase all of the data on your phone. So make sure you take a backup. Two other ways you can do backup, and I'm not going to show that in this video. It's actually kind of dated at this point. So on Windows, you can use iTunes to do a backup to your local PC. On the Mac, you can select the phone in the Finder and back up all data that way. Again, I think it's overkill now with iCloud, just as long as your backup's successful. And then for me, like I said, I like to also take a hard copy down onto my little USB dongle here. That's the backups. Next, we're going to sign out of our Apple ID. And what this will do, so I'm going to start back at the home screen for you guys. And so from here, we want to go, again, you want to select on your name, and you want to scroll down to the bottom here, and you want to hit the sign out option. And that is going to sign you out of the phone, sign you out of your Apple ID. It's going to also disable Find My, and then it will also disable the iCloud backup. And it's going to require you enter your password. And now once you enter your password, give you the option to turn off, keep a copy of your data on this phone. No, that's exactly what we don't want to do, because we are now, we are signing out and not keeping a copy of any of this. So you're going to make sure all of that stuff is toggled off, because we are doing a full-blown factory reset. So we're going to say sign out. This can take up to a minute, so I'm going to fast forward through this part. All right, so again, just to verify, so what that did was it signs you out of your Apple ID, disables your iCloud, and then also disables Find My iPhone. All right, so the next step in the process is to remove our SIM, physical SIM or eSIM card from the phone. And in my case, I have a physical SIM in the iPhone 10 here. So, and then in order to get the physical SIM out of the phone, I like to use a paper clip. You basically just want to bend it around like that and create a little paperclip tool. And then here, what you want to do is very carefully look for the hole, and you want to push the pin in hard until your SIM card pops out. And now mine just fell.
Will be destroyed for sure. This is madness.
All right, so now it says no SIM card installed. That's okay. That's exactly what we want to do, right? In this case, my son is going to insert his SIM card into a little gazette here. His SIM card is going to go back into this phone. But for now, I just want to take it out, and then I strongly recommend that you do this, guys. So easy for these tiny SIM cards to get lost. So what I suggest doing, just get yourself an envelope and just say iPhone X SIM. And that's a big envelope with that little SIM card, Bob. When you want it, when you ever needed it, for whatever reason, I just basically take this, put it here. In some cases, if you have older phones, you might be wanting to transfer your physical SIM to a different phone, for instance. In this case, because I'm giving it to my son, he's going to want to put his own SIM in here. Of course, we're just going to want to put this little gazette back in here. So now, as you can see, we have that open hole, and you'll know because it just, it closes it closes on the end nicely. So no SIM card installed. Let me see if I can also show you what an eSIM would look like. So that's anyone that has a newer phone. More than likely you're going to have an eSIM as opposed to a physical SIM. So what you want to do then is, in order to delete your eSIM, critical step here, we want to go into cellular. This is the equivalent of what I just did with the physical SIM, taking it out of the phone, but now it's all handled, at least on the newer phones, it's handled via eSIM, so it's an electronic SIM. And then from here, we're going to go into our cellular. Let me just show you that again. I'm going to go into cellular from settings, and then scroll all the way down here to where you see SIM pin, and then delete eSIM. So that, I don't want to delete, this is my iPhone 16 Pro Max. I had to swap it out with the iPhone 13 to show you guys. But we definitely want to hit delete eSIM here to get rid of the SIM from the phone completely before we do the full wipe of data. This might be overkill, but I feel like this is definitely a best practice, and I would say absolutely want to make sure that you delete your eSIM if you have one. All right, so we're gonna hop back on over to the iPhone 10, and our next step is going to be actually doing the full-blown erase of the phone. We're gonna wipe the phone. Let's go. So, all right, from here, I'm going to go into my settings again, and then we wanna go into general. So there's our general settings. And then from here, I want to scroll down all the way to the bottom where it says transfer or reset iPhone. So sound like the option we want? Yes, it is. We're gonna click on that. And now prepare for new phone, blah, blah, blah. Make sure everything's ready to transfer to the new phone, even if you don't currently have enough cloud storage or backup. So this is a critical time to remind you that if you didn't verify your backup times, or you can actually log into, I believe it's iCloud.apple.com to actually confirm that all of your stuff actually made it out to the cloud, or using your iTunes or on one of these little dongle guys. Just as long as you have all of your data at this point backed up, you should be good to do the erase all content and settings, and I am going to do that. Always makes me a little nervous doing this step, but hey, this is for my kids, so all right, erase this phone. Erasing will remove your personal data so this phone can be safely traded in or given away or sold. The following items will safely be removed: absent data, Apple Wallet. So everything's going. I'm going to say continue. Okay, then we're going to enter the passcode. Top-notch security on this passcode here, guys. And there we go. Okay, erase phone. The moment of truth. Here we go.
I'm going to regret this.
Should I click it? Yep, we're doing it. Now it's going to take a little while. Now it looks like we're rebooting, and what this should look like when it comes back is it's going to look like a brand new phone. And so we should see the hello screen. I think there'll be some things talking about different languages and so forth. But yeah, okay, so I misspoke. So it's going to actually take a little bit of time. So I'll be quiet and let this do its thing. Fast forwarding through this as well. All right, guys, and there you have it. So that's exactly the screen that I was talking about and that we were hoping for. So we have our hello screen. It's so forth in all these different languages. If you've had many iPhones over the years, this is going to look very familiar. And now this is where he'll be able to actually come in and configure and set this phone up as his own. All of my data is now gone. we pulled out the SIM card, and we've logged out, completely logged out, off and so forth. Find My Phone is disabled, iCloud is disabled, and we're actually ready to go. So I'll just touch on just a couple little troubleshooting things that if things go wrong, you can try this. Luckily, this seemed to go very smoothly. And if you follow these steps exactly as I present them in the order I present them here, yours should go very smoothly too. Just a few troubleshooting things. If you get stuck on the Apple logo, for whatever reason when it's rebooting, hold the side and the volume button down for 10 seconds. So basically, we're going to take a screenshot, but hold them down for 10 seconds, and then that will do another, basically a hard reset of the phone. Another thing that you might run into during this process, if you forget your Apple ID, you can go to, Apple actually has a dedicated website for that. So it's iforgot.apple.com. I'll flash it up on screen here so you guys have it. And then if your Find My, for whatever reason, is still active, you log into, let's say, I believe it's findmy.apple.com. For Find My, just basically make sure that that all looks good and that you're completely signed out, that this particular phone, if you have multiple phones, is completely signed off on Find My. So you can actually use these Apple websites to get through some challenges if you have them. Those are the main things that you might run into during the factory reset, but that is basically it, guys. So if you're getting value from this video, if you just mind smashing out and give me a thumbs up, helps out the channel a lot. And I hope that this helped you and that you're able to successfully factory reset your phone. I would just say that. The other thing is, put this in a safe place, file it away in a folder somewhere in your file cabinet so that you have it just in the event you need it. In my case, I'll probably never need this again, but it's always good to have a backup copy. And then same thing with your data. These little dongles can get lost very easily, so make sure to put that in the same place as well. Anyhow, hope this helped and hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.
I've just about had enough.